Welcome into the Desert Vibe. Here we go yet again. Should be a great show today. Our guest is Michael Swain, who is a host of one of the great open mics here in Arizona. Before we get to that, though, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Glenn Gardner.
I'm Walt Richardson.
I'm Jamie Ray.
And there you are in the corner there. We oftentimes on this show talk about how absolutely blessed we are here in Arizona and in the Valley to have such a great selection of local venues that we can all play at. And that doesn't happen without people who facilitate these things. It's not something that happens necessarily organically. People have to be behind these things that get rolling. We were just talking before we started recording that Walt celebrated his 17th anniversary last night of doing Tempe Center for the Arts, and that's quite an accomplishment. But there are lots of other great open mics happening in the Valley, and one of them is hosted by Michael Swain, who is our guest today, and that's at the Monastery out in Mesa. And I've heard nothing but good things. When the funny thing about what we all do here on this screen is it's hard for us to make other people's events sometimes because we're all hopefully doing something. But I've heard nothing but good things about the stage over there. It's a beautiful outdoor venue from what I've heard. And one of these days, because frankly, I'm getting really sick of Walt's event on Wednesday night, and I've desperately been looking for something else to do. And
Glenn, let's start going to the monastery.
Yeah, I think that's a great,
We'd love to have you.
yeah, a great
The
idea.
Blindsiders are playing there March 11th on Wednesday.
Of course they are.
Blindsiders next month.
What night is the open mic night there?
Well,
at Monastery.
So I've been hosting the open mic there for about a year and a half, and it's every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
But on the second Wednesday of the month, I do what I call a band showcase, where it's not really open mic. It's bands that I've prearranged to come out and do a set. So I'll have three up and coming bands do a 1 hour set. It's a 3 hour show, and I provide the full backline with all of the amps and drums and mic stands. So the transition between bands goes really quick. The problem with that is that the regular open mic crowd that comes every Wednesday, sometimes they forget on the second Wednesday and they show up with their guitars and go, "Oh crap, I forgot it's the band thing." Because as you know, if you do anything on the second or the third Wednesday or the whatever, it's not on the top of people's minds, so it gets people a little bit confused. But the band showcase has been a really big deal that I didn't think was going to be as popular. I didn't know what it was going to evolve into when I started it. So when I first started it, I kind of put together my own little house band so people could come up and jam and see how that worked. But I had such a huge response of new bands, and I got to hand it to the monastery. They built this new main stage up there that just looks solid and professional, and it's a great place for these guys to get their videos and pictures and all that stuff with killer lights and all that good stuff. But I've had such a huge response that I'm booked the second Wednesdays. I think when did I book you guys in March? I think that was like
it was a couple months ago. Yeah, it was a few months ago.
So I'm like 6 to 8.
You having second thoughts yet, or?
No, but I'm 6 or 8 months out with people wanting to sign up with 3 bands every month, and I haven't even duplicated any bands. So for a year and a half, every month I've had 3 different bands come out, and it's hit and miss sometimes, but for the most part they've all been really solid, good bands. Last night was amazing. I had 3 bands scheduled, and the third band, again, I booked last night. I booked it in August because I go back on my calendar to see who I talked to when. So they may have, when I sent them an email a week or so ago to just a reminder, they may have maybe they're not even a band anymore. I don't know. So I won't even tell you the name of them. But the first two bands were amazing. I had a band called Slingshot, and they did kind of dance music. They did Michael Jackson, and they did um, why can't I think of his name? Bruno Mars. And but they also did, some rock stuff and everything. They transitioned their songs like prose. I don't think they stopped to, there was none of this in between songs where we go, okay, let me do my guitar.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, right,
Are you
yeah, right.
ready?
They
Are you
just
ready?
they just grooved right from one song to the next.
That's
They
cool.
did some mashups
Hmm.
where they went into I a lot of the dance hip hop stuff is not my forte, so I don't know the names of the songs, but I know I've heard them. So when they're doing them, and then in the middle of it, they go into a whole other song, a little mashup, and then they go back to that. So they were really solid pros, uh, playing for free to a pretty empty house last night. Um, the monastery is a 3.5 acre outdoor venue, and when I say it was a dead night last night, there was probably over 60 people there, but
Hmm.
they're all spread out,
Hmm.
and it
Yeah.
looks, you don't have anyone on the dance floor, and don't have anyone right in front of you, so it looks, you put 60 people in a coffee house for an open mic, that's a kicking night.
Right.
But at
Yep.
the monastery, that's dead. So
Hmm.
it's hard to feel like you're playing to a crowd when
Yeah.
the people clapping are 70 yards away from you at the campfire over there. So, but I mean, they did a solid job, and they played like they were playing like uh, you know stadium.
Hmm.
And
And
tell
then
me
the
their name again.
Slingshot band was called
Slingshot.
Slingshot. Yeah, guitar, bass, drums, and a singer.
Awesome.
Okay.
And the guitar player. I apologize, I forgot their names, but he played chord structures and lead structures that filled in for missing keyboards or horns that were on the
Oh,
original
cool.
recordings of the songs. That
I'm
just sounded really. Their arrangements were really spot on, and you
I'm
don't
think
always get that at a an open mic type thing. And I
you
was
said
lucky
this is
enough to have that.
an up and coming band?
Yeah,
Or they
I don't know the history of all of them,
uh
but usually they're either uh, like my second band last night. They're young people
hmm
who are just put it together, um, or they're you know 4 or 5 guys that were in other bands before, and now this is a new project
hmm
for them.
hmm right.
The I mean, that's kind of the gist of it, where the how it seems like.
Hmm.
Now, the second band last night, and I don't mean to, uh, because it was just last night, it's still fresh in my head. Um, they were called Zenora. Uh,
Okay.
Oh, I know who they are.
yeah, Znora, and
I
Yeah.
think
I think they're out of
I
Tucson.
might have heard they're out of Tucson, you said?
Yeah, well, I know the guitar player was out of Tucson, or yeah, they came from Tucson because they were running late and they were texting me. They said they were going up from Tucson.
Hmm.
But man, these kids were not old enough to be in the bar, and they were just blowing me away. I mean,
They're
the
Wow.
amazing.
guitar player, I felt like he should have this wall behind me and where they be. Um, they came, they played to an empty dance floor, and the bar is 50 yards away, so the people sitting at the bar, you don't even really can barely see them, and you certainly can't hear them from the stage. So after every song, there was no real applause other than, but they just brought it like they were. They even had the costumes for the stage wear and all that stuff. And I mean, the drummer I think was like 16 or 17 years old,
Yeah.
and, and it was a 3 piece, and they were doing uh, a whole bunch of original songs. I posted a YouTube video of them
Hmm.
that I took last night.
They're
Actually,
really good. They've played all over. They've had a
yeah,
little tiny tour and stuff around. Yeah, they're really good.
yeah,
Really, really good.
yeah. The
So
guitar player's mom is their like manager. But I mean, again, these were two solid, professional sounding bands that drove a long way and gave a hell of a performance for free to an empty dance floor because you know. But I mean, they were really solid and pro about it. It's cool to see them.
so I have a couple of questions I want to ask you in kind of in relation to this. Where is the monastery located? How can people find it? And you know, is there a number that they can call to get general information? And is there a website?
There's a website for the monastery, and it's located at Falcon Field, the airport
Okay.
in Mesa. So it's Greenfield, east of McKellips.
Mm-hmm.
I mean McKellips east of Greenfield. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
right there at the airport, which is kind of cool. But it also they have very large military helicopters out of Boeing, which is right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whenever you're performing at the monastery, without fail, if you're doing a tender ballad or love song,
Yeah.
that's when they fire up the big Apaches, and
Right.
and
Right.
it sounds like it sounds like a Harley Davidson's right in front of your drum set.
That's amazing. That's
So you
amazing.
do have that little bit of interference in it, but it's also kind of cool.
So so now I'm going to jump around a little bit with these next two
Sure.
questions. Uh, what instrument do you play, and how long have you been here in the valley?
I am a third generation Arizona native.
All
There
right.
ain't that many of us.
No.
So I've been here for forever, and I've been playing in the valley since probably the mid '80s. Um, I've played I played acoustic guitar for probably 10 years
Hmm.
of when I first started playing it. I played the saxophone when I was grade school, high school, college.
Hmm.
Um, I picked up the guitar 14 or 15 years old, and I played acoustic because I wanted to sing, and it's really hard to strum a song and sing on a saxophone. So I picked up a guitar so I could sing, and I just did the acoustic, Neil Young, Bob Dylan, Jackson Brown, whatever, acoustic sets. And I remember playing. Remember the Warehouse Deli
Hmm.
down in
Yep.
Tempe
Yep.
on
Yep.
campus? That was
Those
the
are the
first
days.
place. That was the first place I ever played in front of people. And I can't remember. It was '80s, and I
Hmm.
don't remember if it was a open mic or if it was just that I was there playing on an off night. Because it's
I think there was kind of like an open mic night down there.
yeah, I
You
can't remember,
know.
but I remember that they used to you would go up and order your food
Hmm.
at the thing, and then they'd call off your number when your food was ready.
Yeah.
So when I'm sitting there singing, I caught you knocking at my cellar door, and number 45, your cheeseburger's ready.
Oh yeah. All night long, bro. Number 42. Number 42.
Was the
Yeah,
food worth it anyway, or
Food was
yeah, it
good.
was really good
it
food.
was
Yep. Food was
okay?
good.
All
Oh
right.
yeah. Food was
Yeah,
good.
the Warehouse Bar and Deli. And I remember I was doing I don't remember what song I was doing, but it was a finger picking song that was not just a simple 3 chord structure. So I was, looking down at my fingers and my hands, and the microphone's up here, and one of my buddies who probably had a little too much to drink come up to say, "Yeah, my buddy," or whatever, and he knocked my microphone. So it was like pointing straight down, and uh, and I'm doing like this. So then I get up to start singing, and the microphone's down here. I'm like, "Oh, what do I do? I can't stop playing to move it." Trying to sing,
That's funny.
but yeah, that's
You know,
the early days down there in Tempe.
a little side story to that. I got fired from that gig uh,
Warehouse.
at the warehouse. Yeah, it's another story. We talked about it in one of the earlier episodes, and it got funny because Sid noticed I wasn't playing there anymore. The guy who owned it, and he saw me walking down university and called me in his office and asked me what had happened. But anyway, Hans Olsen started a rumor. He started a little statement going around Tempe saying Walt Richardson got fired from the worst gig in town.
That's like getting fired from an open mic, right?
Right, I got
That
fired from the worst gig in town.
that wasn't the last time either.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm right. I'm writing. I'm keeping score.
I know you are. You get me
Keeping
next
score.
week. I know. I know.
You know, when when Michael was talking about, you couldn't hear the applause and all of that with his band. I was going to mention how you got that covered up when you don't get applause at your gigs. You got that little track that you played. It sounds like there's 20 people in the audience.
Yeah. Well, I have a sign behind
Uh,
me
Says
lights
applause.
up, says applause, laugh now,
Yeah.
give
I have
Walt some crap, bop, bop, bop.
I have a recording of backing tracks of all the laugh tracks from the I Love Lucy show.
Oh,
Oh, that's
So
great.
when my jokes
Perfect.
bomb, I just push that button.
I love that.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
You got to use that sometimes. That's great.
Michael, I'm gonna jump in here real quick. I know Walt has more to ask you, but I have been dying to get you on here because you have got some controversy going on Facebook. It's not major controversy, but I want to know what you're thinking because they're still commenting. This was posted last week.
Right.
It's about the open mics, and the big question is when does backing tracks cross the line into karaoke at an open mic, right? So
Right.
what obviously something's been going on at your open mic that you wanted to post this and get people's opinion on it. So what's going on and what is your thoughts on all this?
Well, the reason I put that out there, and it's an online a Facebook group called Air AZ Open Mics or something like
Yeah,
that. I don't know
Yep.
who hosts it or whatever.
yeah.
I go on there. So um, I have guys that come up and there's one kid and I can't remember his name. I think his name is Gary Brian. I don't remember, but he goes by the green-eyed guitar player.
Oh, I know who that
Does
is. He
he
was
come to
just
your
in.
guys' show?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he comes and he has his tracks that he's pre-recorded of original music, but he plays along with, and it's great. And he comes fairly frequently, and it's
Yeah,
always
he
good
was
to have.
just at Walt's open mic a couple weeks ago. Walt, he's the guitar player that
What
plays
is his name?
tracks.
Brian?
Oh, I have his
He,
card somewhere.
I always tease him because I introduce him as the green-eyed monster or the green Manalisi or something because
His name isn't on his card, but it is the green eyed. That's yeah. I know
right.
who
So
those real.
he's a young kid that you guys have
Yeah,
seen, and he comes in, and that's never been an issue. It's always good to have him.
yeah,
And then I've had other guys that come and they play acoustic guitar and then they have the tracks behind it. So they're strumming, Margaritaville, but they have the karaoke track
Band.
behind them or whatever
Yeah.
it is. And again, I don't have a problem with that either. Uh, and then occasionally I'd have people that want to just, I have a Bluetooth on my board that they can pair to with their phone, and,
Yeah.
and they just want to play tracks. And I've actually had people that just play songs. I had a guy do a Glenn Campbell song, and it wasn't even the tracks. It was Glenn Campbell singing the song. It was the actual record, and he was just singing along with it.
Hmm.
And again, it's open mic. You come up, tell jokes, do whatever you want to do, whatever your thing is. It's just, but when you're hosting it, you also need to consider the other performers who are there. And, I don't want people to go, I'm not going to go there because all they do is karaoke. And it
Well,
certainly has
and
been
just to
that.
backtrack, Michael, the theme of the thread is is it okay, or what's your opinion of tracks at
Right.
an open mic? And there's a lot of obviously there's a lot of varying response there from it's karaoke, it doesn't belong there to to whatever. And that's fine, but being a host, and I know Walt, obviously has an opinion too. Being a host, I really feel like you, Michael, that the open mic is open. That's the first word of the thing. So you want to be open, and I think if we're going to attract younger people into this endeavor, we need to stay current with what younger people and all people in some respects are doing. And if we start, getting too restrictive, I've seen some open mics that say no pedals, no this, no that. And when you start drawing lines around people, I think, is when you start eliminating people as opposed to welcoming, bring people in. I think a way to mitigate that a little bit, though, is one of the reasons I like two songs, and I know Walt does two songs as well, is because even if someone doesn't really like what's going on stage, generally you can sit through two songs and it's
Right.
okay. If you start going longer, I think, than two songs, and what's going on stage is not to someone's liking for whatever reason, they're probably going to get up and go. because then you're talking about a 15-minute block of time. Uh, but I think within that 10 minutes, people should be relatively free to do what they want. I played to a track last night at Walt's thing, and rarely do I play to a track, but I played I played a couple of jazz songs, and I'm not gonna you know you're not gonna get a jazz band to come out at an open mic, and particularly Walt's open mic,
Have
which
you have you got an auto tuner yet for your voice so that it sounds better?
I didn't sing.
He didn't have to worry about that
I
last
didn't
night. He
sing
didn't have
last
to sing.
night, so
Wow, I
we were
missed
we
it.
were
I
fine
missed out.
there.
I
I
will
missed
tell you
out last
this.
night.
I will tell you this. I've heard Glenn play. I've heard him play for
Too much.
just for as long as I've known him. But when those jazz tracks came up, because he's getting ready to do this show with Annie Moscow, it was a different side of his lead guitar playing that we've never even heard before.
Well, you
And it was pretty
can't.
cool. That was a nice guitar that you were on.
Oh, thanks,
But
Walter. But I
the
mean,
the
you
tracks were
just you.
Walt was just nice to you.
I
it
know.
was true.
Oh,
It's
hang
true. I
on.
had
Let
to
me let me.
Bookmark that.
let me write that down, clock that.
State that. I
Oh,
hope we're recording this.
Shoot. So,
got that
hey,
here.
did you get a haircut, or is that a hair piece?
Oh, there we go. Keep
No,
that.
it's a piece of lettuce sitting on my head.
So let me
Actually,
get you back on track.
gee.
So,
No, actually,
Michael.
it was so cool.
But
I'm
I will.
sorry.
But on the track thing,
Oh yeah.
I just think that we need to be inclusive. And I think people that are very set in their ways, which are generally the people who are gonna have an issue with something new and different than they're used to, will tend to restrict what's going on. And if we want to see this great scene that we've all been a part of and all helped create, here in Arizona, if we're not more inclusive, we're going to be the last of it. And
Yeah,
already, I have some concern that some of the open mics I go to, feel like God's waiting room. I mean, it's important that we keep new, blood flowing through. I think these events. So I didn't write any of that down. I was tempted to comment on your thread, but it looked like there was enough there.
There's a
There was
lot.
a really good cross section of uh, legitimate input. I mean, there was a lot of the two-word comments and whatever, but there was a lot of people, and because we don't go to each other's shows all the time because, like you said, we're doing a show, so our performers are often going to the same shows. So my guys that come to the monastery are also going to, Roosters on Tuesdays or wherever other places are, and they know each other and they know the other venues. So I put that out there just kind of to see, check the temperature on how that was at other shows and everything, and not having an opinion one way or another. And again, being support. Ian Eric commented on
Yeah.
his approach, and it was a uh, pretty good insight. And as far as talking about being inclusive, I I commented back on Ian's post there that I actually had a wedding.
Mm,
Um, I had an open mic wedding.
I
So
read that. That was
I
kind of
showed
cool, though.
I showed up. Check this out. I show up to the monastery on the patio stage there, and I'm unloading my gear, and there's clearly a wedding party sitting there at the table right in front of the stage. The bride and groom dressed accordingly like a bride and groom, and there was obvious preacher there, and half a dozen of their friends with them. So it's this little group. And I said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, we're having a wedding." So I'm like, "Oh, crap! I thought maybe monastery, scheduled something and then didn't tell me about it." So I walked over to the bar there and I said, "What's going on? Do I cancel tonight or something?" I just checking in. And then he said, "I have no idea what you're talking about." So I went back over and talked to the guys, and they said, "Hey man, if you get people get up and do 2 or 3 songs, that's about 15 minutes, and all we need is 15 minutes." And I said, "Okay, well, you guys can go first." So I let the other performers that were waiting know that it's still open mic. This is just their 2 or 3 songs. They're
How
going to do,
cool is that?
and the preacher got up on the stage, took my microphone, the bride and groom stood in front of the stage, and their, attendees behind him, and he he knocked it out with time to spare. I think it was 11 minutes. Do you? Yes. Do you? I pronounce you, and they didn't have to pay for a venue or a PA or anything, and they
Or
did
a
their wedding.
band, you know?
So if anybody tells me that I'm not inclusive at my open mic,
That's great.
I've had comedians that bomb terribly, uh, but they still get up there and tell their. And again, it's like 10 minutes. You've got 10 minutes to tell your story and make people
Yeah.
laugh, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It's just when you start getting, I think, like you said, if you have 15, 20-minute sets, it's longer to sit through. So if you have too much of anything, it's probably not a little too much. Whereas if you have kind of, the older guys doing their acoustic songs we all know,
Yep.
and then you have the younger guys doing like the Green Eye Kid, and then a cross section of whatever else is going on. It's a lot of fun. Now I've had another question that probably could have been on that thing is when you have groups at an acoustic open mic. So it's not just one guy; it's 2 guys with a guitar and a cajon. I have a group. You guys know Ken Balcom? Does he come to
Oh,
your show?
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So and Ken's a great friend of mine, and his group will get up and perform, and he has a cello
Yep.
and a couple of singers and a couple guitar players and a cajon. And so when I'm
And he
doing
does
that,
it all while smoking a cigar. I'm not sure how that works, but.
him and I are cigar buddies. But yeah, when they do that, so that's then you gotta go. Okay, well, are we doing 2 songs when it takes them an entire song to set their stuff up? So based on how many people are on the list to play and what time it is and how I might say you guys do 4 or 5 songs because we all know and love you, and that way you don't have to get up again and set all your stuff up again, and you just get up once instead of coming around again on the list. And but that's not like a rule. I don't have any rules. It's
Yeah.
just a suggestion to kind of keep things flowing. You got to know the room and
Yeah.
act accordingly. So
Yeah.
you still have
I just
stuff you have to deal with.
I just noticed on there because my husband actually never posts anything or chimes in on anything, but he did on this one. Um, and nothing, he didn't say anything negative for or against or anything, but he made a good point that because I go to a lot of open mics, I don't necessarily always perform at them, but I go to them because I like to see new talent and see what people are doing. In my opinion, I'm gonna get something from this, I know, but I don't think, and not that it's bad. I mean, everybody hosts their open mic differently, and that's totally cool. But there's so many karaoke nights in venues. Um, I don't think that people should be going up, holding their phone, playing a karaoke track that's not an original, and just singing some Shania Twain song to sing it. And that's just my opinion. I
Yeah,
don't, because
I
there's so
I
many karaoke nights, and there's so
yeah.
many young.
Did
Because
you
I
not
tell
enjoy
people,
my Shania Twain song last week?
I did.
Or is
No,
that where
I
this is
didn't.
coming from? Or.
Man, I feel like a woman.
Jeez.
Because Walt asks me all the time, "Are you singing tonight?" when I show up, and it's not that I don't want to, but we perform almost every weekend, and I just feel like those open mics are for singer songwriters with their new song or kids that don't get to go out and perform every weekend that want to get out there and show their stuff. And so when you get up there and it's literally a karaoke thing, I don't know. I don't, maybe 1 or 2, but if it starts consuming the open mic, that's going to turn into karaoke and not open mic.
It's again, it's reading the room, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do a wedding every single open mic either. But
right.
you kind of just have to be a moderator on this stuff. Now, I played open mic at at the warehouse like we were talking about earlier in the '80s. But I've been in a working band or working acoustic performer for 30 plus years, and I haven't been to an open mic since back in the early days. So when I started hosting this one, I didn't have a template or anything to go off of. I just started doing my thing, set up my uh, PA and stuff, and I brought a couple guitars because I didn't know if people brought their own or not. And fortunately, I had all of these performers that showed up that have been going to your guys' shows all these times. So they kind of let me know, I'm like, what do you do? I said, I got a notepad and I put it out on the table with a pen. I said, write your name down and we'll just go through the list. And if there's only 3 or 4 people there, we'll play 3 or 4 songs. You guys are all buddies. You don't have to take
Yeah.
turns and take whatever. But then as people come rolling in, I do a 6 to 9 show, so 7:15, 4 or 5 more people come on. Well, now I have to say, I know that person did 4 songs, but I'm going to have to limit you to 2 because I need to get everybody up. But
Right.
but I don't have a rule book or a policy guideline. I just read the room, talk to the guys. What do you think about if we do that? And if you communicate with them, they're fine with that. And if
Yeah.
you have somebody that comes in and wants to do a Shania Twain song with their phone, they'll hopefully be able to read the room too and see all these performers looking at their watch going, are you kidding me? And then probably go, maybe I should just go and carry it. I haven't had to deal with it. I haven't.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you too. Has it become a problem? I haven't been to many open mics where that's ever a problem. I've seen it a couple times happen, but it doesn't seem like it's oversaturated with any of that.
I've had, like I told you, the one guy that did the Glenn Campbell song, and
Yeah.
that in that instance, uh, it was a guy that, um, I guess I could tell you who it is because he did a good job with it. You guys have the Blues Daddy guy to come to your thing? Blues Daddy? No,
I
he
don't
goes by
I
recognize.
Blues
think
Daddy. I don't
so.
remember what his name is, but
I don't
he sings the blues. He's a blues singer, and he's got
So he is a singer. He's a good
yeah,
singer. He's a
and he has
performer.
a guitar player that backs him up, uh, but his guitar player is never available on Wednesday. So he comes
Uh,
to my show, and I'll back him up. Or if there's another guitar player, I'll talk to them and say, "Hey, man, he's going to do it 1 4 5 a G. You want to
yeah.
play?" Or maybe I'll play some leads and have another guy playing rhythm. And so he's been a part of the show, anyways. And
Hmm.
on this particular night, I don't remember uh, the reason. There was something. The group that he was with at the table, it was someone's birthday or something like that, where they really wanted to hear this Wichita lineman,
Mm.
and nobody there knew it. And so he just played it on his phone, paired to my Bluetooth, and sang along with Glenn. And you know what I
So
mean?
everybody loved it.
That was
People
great,
loved
and
it.
everybody loved it. And it was
Yeah.
no big deal. So no, I haven't had by any means have I had a whole bunch of that going on. I had just enough of it going on to prompt me to ask the question and see what
Yeah.
it's like. But it's
You
never
know,
been an issue.
for the way things run at the TCA, it's such a showcase kind of venue that even if someone is bringing tracks, they're bringing it from a showcase kind of perspective because it most of it, 95%, 100% of it is live performance, people performing and that kind of thing. What I have noticed that there are artists that will bring their computers in because they have tracks on their computer, and I always ask them because the tracks can be very, very, very good. And usually they've played all the instruments on the track or something like that kind of thing, and it's been well produced and that kind of thing. And we used to have a guy who would come in, he had his little routine with a couple of show tunes and everything. But the talent of being able to sing along with the track and everything is cool. So we really don't have a hard line against karaoke. It just doesn't seem like it is an issue there. And I really haven't seen it as an issue at any open mic nights. Really, I've always seen the open mics like nights always seem a place where
Yeah.
it's live performance. The thing that we don't do is comedy. There was a comedy class that was being taught going on simultaneously at the TCA, and they would sign up, and it was just it's the comedy and the music just didn't mix because it was too much of a distraction.
Well, you're
And
comedy enough for everybody. So
and the comics
Comedy.
would never, yeah, 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 that's right, quotes. The comics would never honor the 10-minute spot because they're all trying to get the big laugh.
Yeah.
And when the room is dead, you got to start it all over again with the next performer that comes up and plays live, you know. So it's basically what I find at and it might be the venue itself that kind of creates this atmosphere. It takes a lot to step up on that stage there
It
at the
does.
TCA because you have a listening audience. You're not in a bar,
Hmm.
and there's people that come in on a regular basis just to sit, and that's their Wednesday night thing to do is to walk in and listen to all the music, and they really really appreciate everybody that gets up on the stage, and
Almost everybody.
except for Glenn, except
Yeah.
for Glenn.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, yeah, that's when that's intermission. All right, so now that we got all that,
Bad
you guys
Walt
can
is back.
you can come see Glenn on break. Uh, I have a I have a question for you, Michael.
Yeah.
What is your impression of the overall, the ins and outs of the music scene here in Arizona as a in comparison to in the music scene in other places? If you've traveled through some of the major
Yeah,
ones.
I lived for a few years down in South Florida.
Okay.
We did a band down there. Actually, 91 to 94 was the only time in my life where my actual vocation was a musician. I played in
Okay.
a band, and that was my job. It wasn't very lucrative, but I didn't need much. I had a backpack and a guitar, and that's all I cared about.
Hmm.
And I've seen kind of the scenes, and down there was a lot around, kind of like it was here back
Hmm.
then. And it's kind of evolved a little bit. I remember the days, and I was in rock bands. Giant subs. Remember those big Sherwin Vegas subs? You could like
Oh
crawl
yeah.
inside of it,
Hmm.
and pyro and all this other crap that we would plug into these clubs, and big giant uh, half stacks and all this stuff, guitar. And I'm like, how did we even do that? And when you think back to, like, there's a bar. You remember Hammerheads?
Hmm.
I've
Yeah.
played at Hammerheads, and it was such a, in retrospectively, it's such a tiny room for the amount of crap that we lugged in there and did these big rock shows on a tiny little stage. And a side note, I was at Hammerheads when I had just turned 21, like a month or two earlier, and there was an event there where it was a ticketed event. I think it was Foghat, or the remaining members of Foghat were playing there, and they had to have everyone leave the bar and then come back in with their ticket because they had to have a ticket instead of just a venue. And they had a person checking IDs at the door. And the doorman there was a guy, everyone called him Red because he was big with red hair. And as I was coming in and I had to present my ID, he, he looks at me and goes, "You've been drinking in this bar for 6 years and you just turned 21 a month ago." Sorry.
Jigs up.
But they never asked me for my ID before that. I've always been older than my years, and I've played with musicians that were way better than me. And that's my current project right now is all guys that are top notch musicians that challenge me to just strap in, hold on, and try not to fall off.
Hey, Michael, I think we got time for one more question here, and I'd like to just ask you, being a host of an open mic, a lot of people I think don't realize the amount of work that actually goes into making an open mic work and putting it together and shepherding it and all that good stuff, promoting it. I mean, on and on it goes. But how do you approach the issue of actually implementing the open mic? Because if you think about it, if you've got, I don't know, 20, 30 slots a night or whatever, however many people you're putting across that stage, you're resetting the stage 20, 25, 30 times. In the average rock show, anybody that's ever done sound, you know this, Jamie Ray, too, if you do sound, is you set it and forget it, basically. You get the guys up on stage, set the levels, lock it in, and there might be a little bit of this and that if someone's doing a lead or whatever. But then But man, when you are resetting a stage 20 times in a night, I think people have to have just a little bit of a realization of what that means and how you do it. So, how do you approach that? How do you get people on stage, get the sound locked in, and had you always been kind of a sound person?
Yeah, I do sound for other bands all the time. I've been a big sound for my own bands forever. Um, One of the things that I find is key, and it seems pretty obvious, but if you have a list of performers and whoever just went on and started their song, I'd go find the next guy and get with him. Say, hey, what are you doing? Are you sitting or standing? I mean, you're moving furniture. You're adjusting mics because they want to stand, they want to sit, they have a pedal board. Um, because I don't want the guy that's on stage to finish his last song and then the next guy start getting his guitar out of his case and tuning it and figuring out where his tablet's going to go with his lyrics. With uh, is he going to put a stool up there? Is he going to sit, stand? So I get all that stuff while the first guy's going, and I just kind of find whoever's on the list. For the most part, I already know who it is because we have a pretty good regular group. But if it's someone I'm not familiar with, I'll go find him and sit down and say, "Hey, man, we're up after him. What are we doing? What do you need? What can I do for you?" And and then that way they're ready. I mean, because that's the worst thing is when you're like I said last night. I transitioned two full complete bands from one to the other in less than 3 minutes,
Mm.
and it was just
That is
full.
a that is more work than someone who's never done that can imagine because that usually takes an hour. I
Well,
mean,
I'll
if,
tell
if
you,
you're if you're mixing a band somewhere or or
yeah,
running sound, getting one band off and getting another band on. Uh,
the key to that, and I don't mean to brag, but you have to have really, really good gear. Um, Drummers, if you go to where they say there's a backline provided and there's a drum set provided, they're used to going into a place and it's trash can lids for cymbals and I have a state of the art drum kit, state of the art all tube guitar amps. I have a Kemper profiler. I have solid bass rig and a QSC 30 touch mix board with all QSC subs and speakers in it. And there's never an issue where you can't hear your monitor. I have 14 aux sends, so I can give everybody an IEM if they need it. And I kind of uh, do my own research and talk to them. Who's showing up next? Is it a six piece? Is it a trio? What do I need? What do you need? What can I get for you? But when you have really good gear, you don't have drummers going, no, I got to use my snare, and they're swapping the snare out. And I put 7 microphones on the drum set. So if they're swapping drums out because they like their better, then I'm messing with mics and everything else. So I have a, a, a snare drum that's worth more than their drum set probably, and I have
right.
really high quality gear, and that way I don't have to have them swapping out as much stuff. So
How exhausted are you when you get home?
I'm beat up. I'm completely beat up,
I
and now
I fully understand.
I have a really really nice drum set, but I'm not a drummer. So I have a colleague of mine, Bill Clancy, who's a great drummer in the Valley. If you've ever he plays in an Almond Brothers tribute band, and
Yeah.
Joe Walsh tribute band, and so on. But anyways, he comes and helps me out on the second Wednesday band nights and sets the drums up for me, and does all the drum mics, and he's my extra set of hands for that kind of stuff. But I mean, if you have good gear and you know what's coming up next and you prepare for it, you can get it to run pretty smooth. I've been lucky, knock on wood, that it runs pretty smooth. But it helps to have the the crew that we have of performers because they pick up stuff at your show and bring it to my show and say, "Oh, it really works to do this," and sometimes that doesn't work, this works, and whatever. And I just learn from them. And as long as you're a gracious host and you can provide whatever they need for their performance, it should go pretty smoothly, and it usually does. I didn't mean any of those comments about, "Oh, I hate this tracks," or "I hate this," or "I don't
Oh,
like that." I like everything. I just was trying to check the temperature on how it worked. Other
I,
things.
I want to circle back to the second part of the question I asked you earlier in terms of the uh, observation of different music scenes. How do you, what is your feeling of how the music scene in Arizona is?
I think it's amazing. I mean, I know hundreds of local musicians and probably close to 100 local bands and performers, and not all of them I'm, you know, first name buddies with. You know, it's funny, the late Sean Swain, who had this band Swain World, everybody mixed us up because they thought I was, they'd go, my friends would go to his show
Uh-huh.
because they thought I changed my band to Swain's World, and so on.
I
But I mean,
remember that.
we've all and it's really kind of sad because we keep losing some of
Hmm.
our longtime performers and friends as we get older, and it's just part of life. But I think it's a great scene. I think there's not a lot of competition, and there's not a lot of, you know, the hippies and the cowboys fighting with each other. You know, they kind of all, it's all kind of meshed together pretty well. So
Hmm.
you can have the Merle Haggard guy and the Iron Maiden guy in the same room and still have a good time. And at least in my experience, it's been like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Even with the big shows where, you know, with the Marquee or wherever we're
Hmm.
putting shows together like that, all of the guys have been real supportive of each other. You don't have a lot of big egos, and I think it's a great scene. I
Work,
don't know
work,
if there's
work.
subculture in it that I'm missing, but I've
No,
seen it's great.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I've always said that about this area here. I want to know where you're playing now. Where do we get a chance to see your projects? And is there a
So
website to listen to some of your music?
there is. I have a band called Ripple Effect. I spell it
Okay.
with an A, so it's not. It's the verb, not the noun. Effect, not effect.
Okay.
I figured the Beatles could take an E and make it an A, play on words. So why can't I? And we've been together since I think 2015, about 10 years. And recently, we all kind of got really burned out on playing 4-hour bar gigs and cover songs that we don't like. And when you do 4-hour bar gigs and you need to keep butts in the seats, you have to play songs you like. So we still have shows here and there, but nothing on the calendar real soon. Uh, and
Is it
I'm starting a
original?
new project. Uh,
Is it original music mixed in?
no, it's cover. It's I call it original arrangements of cover songs. We do a
That's
lot of
good.
cover songs that people know, but I also do a lot of medleys and mashups
That's cool.
and for things like that. But it's rippleeffectband.com is a website, or one effect band, and there's YouTube videos on there. When we did, you all remember the uh, COVID concerts that we everyone
Hmm.
was doing online, and we all learned how to do Zoom and I work in behavioral health, so to do telehealth and all that kind of stuff. It's just kind of put us into a new technology. We did a VX3 COVID concert, and I took all of the songs and separated them into individual two videos, so you can see the videos on it. And I'm actually auditioning bass players tonight for a new project, which is called Blues for Breakfast, and it's a progressive blues project. It's the vibe of government rule, uh,
Cool.
John Schofield, kind of a jazz blues, where we don't care. We're not playing line dancing songs for the folks at the
Yeah.
art project.
I want to see you play. Where can I
You
see
could
you
come to the
play?
monastery on Wednesday nights,
Yeah,
but I
I'll
Oh,
don't
have to
have
March
do that.
11th.
March
I'll
11th. Yeah,
I'll be I'll be free during the summertime for the monastery.
yeah.
But
And we I should mention that in the summertime, uh, we we put the second Wednesday band thing on hold during the really hot months because it's just nobody comes out and it's
But
150.
you do the regular open mic,
Yeah,
right?
we just do the
Yeah.
regular
Unlike
open.
Walt, who takes the entire summer off, most of the other people on this screen are busy working and providing some kind of service for the community. Is that what I'm hearing,
yeah,
or
that's exactly
We
what you're
change it.
hearing.
We go
that
for
it?
it. It's
Uh,
wintertime is 6 to 9 and summertime is 7 to 10. So the time changes in the summertime just so because it gets dark later. To
well,
try to
Michael, thank you so much for what you do. Because without people like you, that scene that you described and that Walt alludes to, and that we all enjoy so much, wouldn't exist.
Mhm.
You need people to make that happen. And believe me, the people that do these things, they ain't doing it for the money.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's for sure.
because I'm just going to say because you do it because you love what you do, you love the people you're working with, you love the community, and that's the payback on all this stuff. So thank you so much
And
for what you do.
he's third generation. He's
Yeah,
in.
Third generation.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
I
committed.
just, and one thing, just I know we're going to wrap it up, but one thing that I'll tell you what keeps me doing this is the stories, which I'm sure you guys have seen, where the guy comes up, he's mid 60s, and he comes up with his acoustic guitar and he says, I used to play in a band when I was a kid, and I haven't played in 20, 30 years or whatever. Uh, my wife recently passed away, and I took it out of the closet, and I've figured out how to play these 3 songs, and I just want to. That's the part that does it for me.
Yeah.
That and the young people that are just
it's
putting.
really
Yeah.
important.
So
Really important.
yeah, and that keeps me going. And I'm like, yeah, that's what this show's about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things going on, but that's what it's about, and that's what.
Well, I want to thank you for being a wonderful guest and a wonderful person. And it doesn't have to be in that order. It's all, it's it just comes out linear. It's a whole package there, and
I appreciate you guys. This is
we
cool.
definitely, I will definitely get out to the monastery
Yeah,
at
me
some point
too.
in time, just to
I've been
say
looking for
hello.
an excuse not to go to Walt's thing actually. So
You
Well,
know,
the Blindsiders will be there March 11th. Everybody should be there.
they have amazing bands on the weekends.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon on the patio, acoustic acts. So there's live music rocking over there all the
Who
time.
books that place?
I can't tell you.
You.
No, I could tell you. Jackie Dodds is the manager, the owners, one of the owners there, and she
Okay.
puts it together. One thing I have to tell you, I don't book the bands at the Monastery. So
No.
when bands come and play on my showcase,
Yeah.
I make it abundantly clear to them that this is not an audition.
Right.
There's no expectations. There's no. All I'm doing is hosting a stage and letting you do
Hmm.
your thing.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
having
well,
said that, there's
I'm
been a couple bands that ended up getting booked there, but that was not because I had any.
Well, Michael, thank you so much
Thank you.
for doing all that you do and for coming on the show. Really appreciate it, and it was a really great discussion. So, continued success down there, and we all will drop by and check out what you got going on down there. So,
Yeah,
thanks
and I'll
again,
try to get
buddy.
over to your guys' things too.
All
Well,
right,
you're more than
always
welcome.
Thank you,
welcome.
Michael. Thank you
Love you,
so
man.
much.
Yep.
Appreciate you
See
guys.
ya. That was a really nice discussion. He mentioned about that wedding thing. I've had several divorces actually happen at my at my open mic.
Not even surprised at that.
No,
You probably didn't have any red vines to offer, so they
or
Nothing
probably.
like
something.
that. Nothing
Or
like that.
something.
Yeah,
See?
Did the
yeah.
divorce happen before or after the gig? Because,
Well, it was
maybe it's
after I
something
played generally.
after you played.
After I played.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can understand that.
Yeah, I know you would. I know you would.
Yeah.
Well, look, we are right, and we are such smack dab in the middle of the busiest time of the year here in Arizona. And I got to every time I think about when I'm putting together this list of what the heck is going on, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is chock a block full. So I let Jamie, because Jamie, no one says this line better than you do.
Yeah.
And I can
Yeah.
tell you've been chomping at the bit. You've been waiting, until Michael was finished so that you could say,
Live, loud, and local, right here from the Desert Vibe. We've got a sound check for you, and I'm going to go ahead and start out here in Florence. 520 events, and you want to look them up because they've got tickets for sale for all the stuff going on out here. Some are free, but some aren't. But they do have everything on their website. It's FIVE20 events spelled out.com, and you can find out everything that's going on. But February 28th, they've got Live on the Lawn with 10th and Main, and guess who's opening for them? The Blindsiders. But that's a real big one going on out here at Padilla Park, and it's a lot of fun. People show up, have a great time, drink some beer, listen to some great music, and so there's a lot going on out here with 520 events. That's the one coming up the soonest, February 28th. But The other thing I want to mention, it is Valentine's week, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I hope you're going to have a great weekend this weekend with your love. But I'm especially, and I know Glenn, we joke a lot with Walt and give him a lot of crap, but we are really thinking of you today, our co-host Walt, and sending love to you and your family. Um, your father, 31-year veteran Chief Master Sergeant Walter H. Richardson, would have been 97 years old today,
Mm.
and I just want to honor his service, his dedication, the incredible legacy he left behind. Thank him for his service, your family, and happy heavenly birthday to Chief Master Sergeant Walter H. Richardson.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. I certainly appreciate that, and the family does as well. This is Pop's birthday. Yes,
Yes, it
indeed.
is. Thank
Yes,
you very
indeed.
much. Happy
Uh-huh.
heavenly birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's my live, loud, and local sound check. So let's move on to Walt and see if he's got anything
Okay,
today.
so live, loud, and local over here in Tempe is they are fencing down the Tempe
Yes,
Town Lake and getting ready to set up for the Innings Fest, and I guess that starts this weekend.
yes, it does.
And so as the spring training opens up, and then on February, let's see, where are we at right now? Let me look at this thing here.
We're recording on the 12th.
Okay, so then on the 27th, that weekend of the 27th, they do the whole thing again, but it's called extra innings, and that gets us into the season of baseball. That's one of the things that's happening. I have a really, really fun event that's going to be taking place in just before Prescott, and it's called the Pixie Beast Music Festival, and it's being put on by the
Is it
girls,
Jordan? Is that Jordy's
but
thing?
Jordy's event. Jordy
Yep.
is putting it on. I'm going to be performing at that, but that's
Cool.
something new. There's an incredible lineup
Yeah,
on
that's
this.
up at Jake's Corner near
Right.
Roosevelt Lake up that
Yeah.
way, and she's been really humping on this thing, putting a great festival together, 2-day deal, and
Yeah.
that should be a
Hmm.
lot of fun.
So I'm going up on that Sunday to play, first thing in the morning. Which when I'm traveling and doing things, in other cities, I do like to be on earlier than later.
Mm.
If that's the if it's
I think she called you after I told her I was already booked that weekend.
Well, she called me, and I told her maybe Glenn can do it because I couldn't.
So Walt was, yeah,
Walt was He was
you
last
know.
choice.
well, I
Bottom of the
asked if
barrel.
I asked if she had called both of y'all. And if she did, I'll just split up the time, whatever. And when I had to bring her back because her feelings were hurt that you guys
You know what?
did
We
her
should we
did
should
her did her
actually
that way.
we should have her on before that event
Yes,
at
we
some
Let's do that.
point.
should.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yes,
Do you want to
We'll get
reach
to
out
it.
to her, Jamie Ray, or
sure.
I'll do it.
okay?
I can reach out
You
to her
want to do
for
that?
both of
Yeah,
us.
actually, Walt's already been in contact, so yeah,
Yeah,
get her on. Get
yeah.
her on the
We'll
books.
get her
Let me
on
know the
because
date.
it would help her with that. So that's what's coming up here in Tempe immediately this week, and then through the month of February. We do have the reggae festivals that's
Mm.
coming in. I don't have the date on that right off the top of my head, but that's on the list of things that are
Maybe
live,
they'll
loud, and
call you.
local.
Who knows?
Say again?
Maybe they'll call you.
Maybe they might not.
I hear you do some of that music,
I
but
do. I love reggae music. I used to
I
play.
don't
I
know.
play
You
a lot
know.
of it, but I don't know how I don't know how they do all the lineups. I'm not sure how the whole, you know, the selection of the artists go because
Right.
that's not even in town or in state.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm saying that right.
Well, that's cool. You know, here in Phoenix and West, there is so much going on over the next 3 or 4 weeks. There's the Willow Street Fair, which is
Oh,
down in the Willow neighborhood.
I'm gonna be there.
Are you? I'm there too. I'm there too. I'm there on Sunday. That would be Sunday the 15th.
What time?
And play. I got two things that day. I'm playing like 11 to 1:30 down there.
Okay, because we must be on different stages.
on
Because I'm playing
Sunday.
that.
Yeah, they got a ton. I mean, there are a ton of stages down there, and
Okay.
actually, too, that neighborhood is special for me because one of the first open mics that I hosted when I first came to town, and I have a really great track record of putting open mics out of business. And this was one of the.
Why
This
is
might have.
Walt still happening?
I don't know. It's never a good sign when I show up though, and when I host, it's an even worse sign. But one of the first ones I hosted was the Willow. Remember the old Willow House down there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hosted that one, and they immediately went out of business right after that. And then I think
I
I
think
picked
they were
a.
using that as an excuse to go out of business.
It could be. It could be. And then there was this place called Federal Barbecue
Oh yeah.
Incorporated in Scottsdale, and
You jammed that one up there.
FBI. Yeah, they went out of business. And then there was the Wandering Donkey up in Scottsdale,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then they went out of business.
So this is hiring you as an excuse to go out of business is much better than burning the place down and try to
Well,
keep
oftentimes
going.
both happen
Oh,
in tandem. That not only do they go out of business, but the building
went up in
actually does
smoke.
I wonder if there's some insurance clause that says Glenn Gardner was here and then you get something if it goes down
burns to the
and
ground or
he walked
something.
into the building.
You should get a bonus. But so I have a lot of experience in the
He,
Willow neighborhood
hey,
down
hey,
there.
Jamie Ray. He walks into a place smelling like smoke.
That's been known to happen too. Not recently.
Hey,
And
if you out there and Glenn walks in, he's smelling like smoke. Make it quick. Get out of there. You
if
Get
I
don't
have
out
want
of
a
to.
there
You want to be a
if I have a
survivor.
gas can with me, make it really quick.
It'll be in the shape of a guitar case.
Uh, so, but that all kidding aside, that is a really great festival. So what it is, you buy a ticket, and there's all kinds of music all over and it's a big neighborhood, all over the neighborhood. There are all these stages and a lot of music, but you get to tour these really cool historic homes in that Willow neighborhood. And what's nice is you can like look in their medicine cabinet, see if they got any cool stuff in there, or look in their
Nice pushing.
fridge.
Nice pushing.
This
Ooh.
is never going to be a family fun friendly
No.
show ever. Not ever. Not ever.
But it's a great event, and you can go just Google Willow Neighborhood Home Tours, and again it's on the 14th and 15th, and you can get all the information you need. You can even buy tickets to do the home tour. If you want to just check out the music and the street fair or whatnot, there's no charge for that or anything. But
Oh,
if you want to actually go through some of these homes, and I would suggest you do that because it gives you a really cool perspective on old Phoenix. And there's so much new in Phoenix. Sometimes it's hard to get that perspective. This is a great way to do it. So check that
It is
out.
awesome. It is
It is.
awesome.
It's a really neat event. Another thing that's happening is the Glendale Folk and Heritage Festival is going to be February 28th and March 1st, and that's at Saguaro Ranch Park, which is adjacent to the library there in Glendale. And
Okay.
one of the folks that was really instrumental in the early folk movement here in Phoenix, kind of acoustic music and wooden music, folk music, is Lon Austin, and Lon was instrumental in getting that Glendale festival going many moons ago, and it's grown into this very very big deal. And I just want to mention that Lana's in the hospital right now,
Oh,
so any good thoughts and prayers, for Lon would be appreciated because I'm hoping he will be out in time to enjoy yet another festival that he has a lot to be proud of there. But again, just a big get well to Lon because he's one of the guys that I would venture to say that without a lot of what he did and other people of that era, and we're going back a ways now, we probably wouldn't be here doing a
mm,
lot of what we're doing.
right.
because they opened the door again in early Phoenix for for a lot of this stuff. Yeah, he's even a little older than Walt, which is very hard to believe, but uh, but there you have it. So that is a great festival. 6 or 7 stages now. It's grown into this massive deal. I know they're full now, but they are taking names for if you want to get on a wait list. And the nature of those festivals is such that someone always doesn't show up. There are so many people involved, so there'd probably be a pretty good chance you'd play. And the other thing is there's a lot of song circles and things like that that just form on the grounds during those 2 days on February 28th and March 1st. That
I'll be there.
Bring your lawn chairs.
Yeah, I'll be there. Does
Bring-
anybody
yeah.
Jamie
care?
Ray will be there. Bring your earplugs.
I'm not singing. I'm emceeing.
Oh, okay. Then
Still.
you can leave those.
They
at
don't
home.
want me to sing. They just want me to speak.
Still
I
bring
get
your
it.
earplugs.
But and that is, I mean, when I tell you that what the three of us have just talked about, that is a smidgen
Yeah.
of what's going on these days, because this is the busy season. And man alive, I just want to say too, I don't even want to think about what's going to happen in July, but we have had the most incredible winter here so far.
I'm telling you.
I
I'm
mean,
telling
it
you.
has been insanely beautiful.
Yes.
And I mean, when we're there, like on Monday nights at Enchiladas, doing the open mic outside there,
Right.
we haven't put the heaters on this year. I mean, that is like, I can't remember that ever happening, actually, in the years we've been doing that thing.
Hey, it's been so nice right here that the birds have been fooling and thinking it's spring and they're already building nests and
Yeah.
everything.
I noticed
Yeah,
that
it's,
Seriously.
yesterday. I've got some already. They're early.
And the migration of the birds
Yeah,
out here. Yeah. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is trippy. They're acting like we're in spring already.
they
I
are.
know. Well, and on the other side of the equation, anybody that has allergies or whatnot,
Mm.
oh man, I mean,
Ooh.
because the desert, for those of you who are watching, remotely, the desert right now is just going boom.
Yeah.
Because we had some rain earlier, and then we got these really beautiful temperatures. So, I mean, anything that can bloom or can grow
Yeah.
Yeah.
is on the grow right now. And
It's
I'm
on the
seeing
grill.
people walking around with snot rags and,
Look.
right? It's been, it's been a very healthy allergy season.
Very healthy.
Yeah. So, but,
Hey,
but,
Walt, I found that date for you at Tempe Beach Park. April
Okay.
17th through the 19th is the Reggae
The
Rise
reggae
Up
fest.
Arizona.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool. Thank
yeah.
you.
Lot of great acts are going to be there.
Ooh,
Stephen
man.
Marley's going to be there.
oh, wow.
Steel Pulse is on
Yeah.
Oh,
on the
wow.
list.
Wow. So
Slightly
this is
Stupid.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
This is a big deal. Dirty Heads.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
So
So
when
wow.
Steel Pulse were doing their first shows tours the United States, they came through Tempe
mm,
twice. And both of the times we opened up for them. My band opened up for them. So on their initial tour, we were playing out here, and they did it at it was called the what was it called? Sun Devil. It was called the Devil's Club or something of that nature. It was a huge venue, but they did it outside. I
mm,
never saw so many people,
mm.
and the Jetsons, which was a powerful band at that time, they opened up, and then my band, I had a band called Driftwood at that time. We played right after that, and then Steel Pulse came on. Oh my God, that band, they were just amazing. Then they circled back maybe 2 years later, and we opened up for them again. It was just amazing, amazing show. So to see them still out there
Yeah,
on the and
Is
pretty
is
much
that a ticketed show, Jamie Ray, or is that
I
a
believe it
that's a good.
is.
okay?
I
Let me
think
see if
so.
the
Yeah.
prices are on here. Oh, there's no prices, but yeah, secure your tickets and
Okay.
VIP tables
Hmm.
today. It's April 17th through the 19th.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
always
it's
I
gonna be
always
good.
get a little nervous when there's no price on the menu.
I know. And
You
Stephen
know what I'm
Marley's gonna be
saying?
there.
Yeah.
Did I
You
say
go to
that?
that
Yeah,
restaurant
you
and there's
did.
no price on the menu. It's like,
Yeah.
You can go to
ooh, that'll
reggaeriseup.com
be fun.
to get those.
That'll be a great show.
Yeah,
Yep.
it will be. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
Do you have to bring your own weed, or do they supply it?
you know what? If you're friendly enough, I bet You can
probably
just
get a
get in
contact
group.
high.
You
You
can get in a
definitely get a
group.
contact high.
Not that I'd know.
You know, it's amazing. Like you've gone through this whole weed culture, where it used to be an exclusive club because it was illegal. You know,
Now you go down
now
Circle K.
you can go and get it anywhere. There's no fun. It's
Like
not
No
whatever.
fun
special about it.
anymore.
You
Fun's
see it up
gone.
on billboards. I couldn't
Yeah, I
believe
know.
it. I saw that. I was tooling down the street the other day, and there's
Yeah.
one of those big ass video billboards up there,
Mhm.
right? And on the billboard, and I would just have to say, if you had told me this 25 years ago, it'd be like pinch me. I'm absolutely dreaming, saying
Right.
we will deliver weed to your house and pizza at the
Oh,
same time.
oh, that's exactly right.
You
It's
know,
I'm
right.
like,
That's right.
you know
Yep.
what you're gonna see. Wait till next month when you're driving by those big video billboards. Guess who you're gonna see next month on there?
You.
oh,
The
jeez.
Blindsiders.
That's gonna. Is that along a major highway or anything? Because we
It's
don't.
on the
All
We don't
over.
highway
have.
to hell.
Everywhere.
That's.
Hey, hey, we cover that.
Hey, I just don't want to create any traffic incidents.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. You don't know. I don't need the business cards
So
anymore.
what is it for? Is it for a particular event?
Nope, it's just to promote the Blindsiders. We're in. I got to get my name on a sign somewhere. Queen Creek won't do it. Home of Jamie Ray, so I'm gonna have to just get
I'm
it
up
up.
in the post office.
Yeah, yeah. I know you're there. I've seen your picture. I think it looks prettier than you in life. And those are mugshots, bro.
There's a
So
reward
the
too. Are you putting a reward on yours, Jamie Ray?
Right.
There's a reward
there,
on
there
mine.
is a reward, yeah. It's
And
actually for the Blindsider Bash 2
hey,
next
not on
year,
hey,
2027.
okay, so not only is there a reward, if it doesn't work out, you get your money back.
Yeah.
You got
This
to
is
save the
this is
receipt though.
you gotta
Yeah, you
save
got to
it.
save your receipt and claim it.
Yeah, you get your money back.
Well, there you go. This has been another, well, about, let's see, be about another 70 minutes or so that you've managed to survive,
Hmm.
if indeed you have watched this and listened to
Happy
this
Valentine's Day.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a happening. So if you got a sweetie, do the right thing, whatever that is,
I'm
and
taking mine to the North, what is it called, Glenn?
Mountain Brewing
North
Company.
Mountain Brewing Company, Saturday, February 14th,
Who's
to
playing there?
see Glenn Garner and Annie Moscow.
Well, it's actually
So,
Annie Moscow and Glenn
Okay.
Gardner, just because, well.
I was trying to be nice to you, but
That's good, but
so
because we
wait a
all
minute.
know who the star is of
Oh,
that
we know.
show.
Believe me, we know. Oh yeah, we
Okay,
know.
so that wait a minute, hold on. I'm gonna look at this thing here.
I hope that we don't get raided when you take the stage and the show. Let Annie sing first.
One never knows these days. One
Okay,
never
so
knows.
okay, so you guys started what time you say?
3.
3
Three.
o'clock.
Yeah, that would be in the afternoon, Walt.
Yeah,
3 in the
yeah.
afternoon.
So yeah, text me that because I might show up. Their food is
Oh
great.
yeah, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
get right. I'll get right on that.
If the music sucks, the food is great.
This is, you are absolutely
I'm
right.
telling you.
There's
Hey,
always that. There's always
yeah.
that consolation.
Is there anybody else sitting in it? Just the two of you guys?
No, that's it. That's
Cool,
it.
cool.
That's it.
I
So
can go there.
I think it's always great to leave it on a negative note. So,
Leave- You
so
know,
with that,
I'm amazed that there are people that listen through this
oh,
all the way
hey,
through.
I'm constantly, surprised,
Yeah,
pleasantly.
I love it. We love all of you out there
We
that
do. Well,
enjoy
most of
yourselves.
you. Not
Well, the ones that
some.
are on screen, that's the ones that are questionable. But everybody else,
Love a few of
hey,
you.
hey, loving you, baby.
There you go. I'm
So
Glenn
yeah,
Gardner.
I'm Walt Richardson.
I'm Jamie Ray.
Till we meet again, be good to yourselves. Take care of one another. Let's give peace a chance. All right.